Dr. Dauda Musa has a PhD in economics. He's a senior research analyst and a modeler with D&S Consult. He's also the managing director of the Spartak Consult, a private consultancy firm which focuses on research and development, strategy and planning, and building economic models. DSGE. I wonder what that means. He's a children's teacher, and he's from Adamawa State. He's from a Christian home. He loves reading novels and carrying out research. He's also an executive member of our Potter's Place Fellowship. Let's jam our hands together for him. Thank you very much. So these are our 5 panelists for today. Next, we're going to be taking a couple of, let's call them descriptions. We're going to be taking some descriptions. We want to be sure that we're all on the same page and we have the same understanding concerning certain things we're going to be discussing in the course of today. Over to you, Mr. Kingsley.
All right, praise the Lord. Okay, over the course of this meeting, we'll come across certain terms. So we're just going to run through a quick definition of certain terms like finance, faith, gambling, etc. Are you with me? All right. What is finance? Finance is defined as the management of money and includes activities such as investing, borrowing, lending, budgeting, saving, and forecasting. There are 3 main types of finance. We have personal, corporate, public, or government. Now, what is faith? For us, faith is defined as trust and belief in God, particularly in Jesus Christ and in the teachings of the Bible. It's not just intellectual assent, but also a deep personal commitment that involves reliance on God's faithfulness and promises. Even when evidence is not readily apparent, faith is considered essential for salvation and is often described as an assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. Hallelujah.
Amen.
All right, what is gambling? I'll just run through this very quickly. Also known as betting or gaming. Gambling is the wagering of something of value, which is known as the stakes, on a random event with the intent of winning something else of value, where instances of strategy are discounted. Betting on an uncertain outcome or staking of something of value with consciousness of risk and hope of gain. What is a Ponzi scheme? MMM. Yeah. A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent investment operation that pays returns to its investors from their own money or money paid by subsequent investors, rather than from profit earned through legitimate business activities. Essentially, it's a pyramid scheme where early investors are paid with the money of later investors, and the scheme collapses when it becomes unsustainable. And we'll just take a quick definition of fraud before we move on. What is fraud? Fraud is any activity that relies on deception in order to achieve a gain. It occurs when someone intentionally misrepresents the truth or withholds or conceals important information, resulting in harm such as monetary loss. It induces another to act to his or her detriment. Hallelujah.
Thank you very much, Kingsley. Thank you very much. So, back to our panelists. Our panel sessions have begun, and we conducted a survey whereby we got a myriad of questions. We had over 200 questions. Thank you very much for the feedback. Please put your hands together for yourselves. Really, we had over 200 questions to sort from. And I hope to the best of our ability, we're able to dissect these questions. So we're going to run through a brief introduction. We'll give our panelists a chance to tell us something about what they do. We'll begin with Mr. Clement. Mr. Clement, so you said you're a member of ANAN and CITN. You want to tell us what those mean?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for this invitation. I count this as honor to be here to give back. My pastor is here, somebody I cherish most in this place, because I've really received a lot from the house. I am an accountant with Lagos State University of Education, formerly Lagos State College of Education, later became Adeniran Ogunsanya College of Education, now Lagos State University of Education. I've worked there, this should be the 25th year in Laswell. I started from graduate level and rose to the position of a deputy bursar at the College of Education. When it became a university, we were taken back to position of chief accountant. I work in the office, and at the same time, when we had our part-time program, I participated in lecturing part-time students. Professional body that I belong to is Association of National Accountants of Nigeria.
Okay.
Just as you have Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, you also have Association of National Accountants of Nigeria.
Okay.
So I belong to that body. They also belong to Institute of Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria.
Oh.
That is CITN.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So that means we can come to you for our tax matters. Is that so, sir?
No, I'm not a practitioner.
Okay, you're not
we
a
have
practitioner.
we have practitioners in tax, so I'm not a
Okay.
practitioner. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Mr. Ochukwuerifo, yes, you said you are an alumnus of Faith Foundation. Can you tell us a little about that?
Faith Foundation was set up by the first MD of GT Bank to train entrepreneurs. Fola Adeola is the man. It was almost a one-year program where you are taught the art of business. And it was more like a business school, but that we had practitioners in business who were facilitators in class. So the kind of people that I had as facilitators in my class, people like Fola Adeola himself, Tayo Aderinoko, we had Jimovia was there at some point. You know, we had a number of. So when Tayo Aderinoko is lecturing you on negotiation, it's not lecturing from the background of classwork.
Theory.
It's not theory.
Yes.
He's a practitioner. When we were talking about HR, a lady that taught us HR has been HR in Lever Brothers for 25 years. So it was a combination of people who had theory and also had practice and were in practice at the time.
Oh, wow. So Faith Foundation basically raises entrepreneurs.
Yes, they do.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Yes. Mrs. John, you said you work in human resources and in the bank's disciplinary committee. So, can you tell us the most difficult disciplinary decision you've had to make working in the bank? The most difficult.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
Okay, my name
morning.
is Joanne Okwakwa. I work in the Human Resources Department of Zenith Bank. Okay, the decisions has to do with people that had to be let go as a result of negligence,
Okay.
where you allow, careless acts to cause to be terminated. Okay, one that comes to mind recently was a guy who gambled about 200 million.
Oh, wow.
And the people that were involved, they were careless. They didn't do the proper thing they were supposed to do, because if they had done it, they would have helped to mitigate that fraud. And so they had to be terminated because of the amount of money that was involved. It was very painful. They tried to keep them, but management could not keep them. So, yes.
So
that was
when
a
you say
difficult
200
decision.
million, 200 million of his own money?
Of course not. 200 million from the bank. He pilfered cash.
Oh,
both
wow.
in naira and in dollars.
Oh, wow.
For this same gambling. Thank you.
So they were just terminated?
Yes.
Okay. Thank
No,
you very
but
much.
he was persecuted, of course. He's still chilling in prison.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, chilling in prison. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes. Our next panelist. Mr. Moyo Ladipo, you said you worked in multinationals, in FMCG. Can you tell us explicitly what are FMCGs? And give us examples.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good
So
morning.
FMCG is basically the fast-moving consumer goods
Oh, okay.
organizations. They are basically companies that produce fast-moving goods that consumers consume every day.
Every day.
So meaning
items.
that it's all about fast churning out of products for consumers to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we talking about things
And
like
then we are talking of companies like Nestle. I started my career with Nestle,
Okay.
and then I moved to a company called SC Johnson. Okay, so Nestle, we all know what Nestle produces. The biggest food manufacturing company in the world. So, the likes of Milo, of, the cereals products, Golden Mon and Co.
Okay.
And the likes. So SC Johnson, I moved to SC Johnson after about 12 years. And SC Johnson produces insecticides,
Okay.
like Raid and Bigon. That's
Okay.
their major thing. And then some other cleaning solutions, like Mr. Muscles and Co.
Okay.
Yeah, currently, I work with Unilever. They are all FMCGs. Are just playing in the same, in the same bracket, but of course, different product lines. So Unilever is known for, detergents
Okay.
and cleaning solutions, and of course, the seasoning brand, the Knorr seasoning. That's basically what it is.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Yes, Dr. Dauda. Dr. Dauda, you said you have a PhD in economics. So I'm aware that a PhD is considered one of the most difficult and tasking phases in one's education. Can you tell us a bit about your thesis?
Okay, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, to me, PhD is a determination. If you are not determined, you can't go through it. That's the honest truth. And I think it's one of the most difficult journey I've ever embarked on. It's something that you have to determine, and you have to tell yourself that, yes, I'm going to face challenge. I'm going to face difficult situation, but I will overcome it. I'm going to face a sleepless night, but I will pull through it. It's all about determination and your ability to make that decision that, yes, I have started this journey and I must complete it. And above all, you must put God first. Because along the line, if you use your own intellectual understanding, you will give up. But you have to put God first to pull you through in such a difficult journey.
Okay, thank you. What exactly was your thesis on? What did you write about?
I did my research in the area of fiscal policy and macroeconomics. So my area is basically on budget, government expenditure, and macroeconomy areas, basically.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I believe we know our panelists better now. We know what they do, and we know the kind of questions we can throw out to them. So, over to you, Mr. Kingsley, my co-moderator.
Thank you. All right, we'll be starting with Mr. Clement. Yes, sir. The first question. Is it better to save in a bank, cooperative, or stash cash at home? Are there better ways to save money? Then also, we hear about all these Ajo savings and things like that, rotating savings. Is this a recommended way to save?
I will start this way. It depends on your income and what you are doing. That will determine how you are going to save. I will not be right when I say you must go through this channel. I use my experience. I work with government, and in our own side, we say our income is average, it's not high. And because of that, and we also exist in this community, Nigeria, all of us go to the same market. So how do I save in my own end? Because of the challenges that we'll be facing, because of the level of income that we have. We have cooperative society in my place. So we save through our cooperative society. Because through that, there is a direct deduction from your salary. Before your salary gets into your hand, you have already made arrangement with the cooperative society, and they will deduct that portion you have agreed with them from your salary. So whatever comes to your hand, you now plan with that. So if you are in my place, you mostly want to save with cooperative society. You will not go to the bank. Then for those that are doing daily job, their income is daily. I will advise that they do what they call daily contribution. There are people that goes about to collect ajo every day. They call it ajo. That is daily contribution. If you go to the marketplace, you see some people who specialize on that. They go about to collect on daily basis. So every month they remit to the owner. Or they can even make arrangement that in the next 3 months, in the next 4 months, in the next 5 months, depends on the trust. So if you do your daily contribution, if your income is daily, you can collect that daily contribution at the end of the month and go and save it either with bank or with another cooperative society. So it now depends on you. Then if you work in the bank, you don't need to go through this process. You save directly with the bank. If you work with a company that is paying very well, you can decide that a portion of your salary should go to the bank. You can meet with the bank and give them a standing order that as your salary comes to the bank, they should deduct that amount, and they will follow that. You can also do that with an insurance company. You can make arrangement with insurance company through the bank, through a standing order with the bank, that as soon as your salary gets to the bank, that portion will be deducted, remitted to the insurance company on your behalf. So it depends on your level of income. But what I want to say about savings is about discipline. It's about your commitment. It's about cutting down your consumption. I always tell myself, the income I cannot earn, I should not spend it. I can't spend above my income. I hear people saying, I'm spending more than my income. I don't think that is possible. You should spend within your income. You must discipline yourself. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Please, to zero back on the cooperative society you talked about as your own example. Like, what in the instance of like a rainy day fund? Will you like have direct access to the money that you are cutting out of your salary?
I didn't get you.
You said when you earn your salary, they
Yeah.
cut out a portion to save. Now, do you have direct access to it, to the money that they are cutting out for you? Like in the instance of, let's say, a rainy day, an emergency.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
do you go about?
Yeah, yeah. You collect your savings with the cooperative society whenever you want to do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And it's
yes,
easy.
and you can even go ahead and take twice what you have contributed with them, because that is the beauty of it. In my own organization, you hardly can save through any other means, and you hardly can do any capital project through any other means. That is mostly the available means, because if you save 100 naira, you are entitled to take 200 naira as loan while you are paying back the 200 naira.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. The second question: how do I discern between sacrificial giving and reckless giving when I'm financially strained but feeling under the impulse to give? And also, how do I keep my giving from becoming an act of pride or transactional seed in return of a blessing?
Okay, you give as you are led. The Bible has given us that example. Give as you propose in your heart. Don't give to impress anyone. Don't give to impress. Give so that God can bless you through your giving. So when you give grudgingly, when you give with complaint, when you give after giving you start complaining, you are regretting. That giving is not, God cannot reward that kind of giving. So as a believer, as a Christian, because I speak as a Christian, as a God-fearing person who want to get reward from God, I don't give grudgingly. I don't give so that I can impress you. I give out of what I have. I give out of what I propose to give. Not to impress you anyway, but I give as I'm led in my spirit to give. Then when you talk about sacrificial giving, that is about that. But how do you also give not to impress people? The Bible also recommended that if your right hand is giving, the left hand should not be aware of it. So you don't need to give publicly so that people can know that you are giving. You can give secretly and you don't say anything about it, because you want God to reward you in the open. So your giving should be in the secret. That is my own recommendation. But to be practical in the real sense, because sometimes you are forced to show what you have given. Because there are times they say they want to raise a fund, and when you are giving, they are listing the people that have given and putting their name and their amount. Sometimes you are carried away to join that group. But I always tell myself, there's no need for this. You are asking for reward from God. So find another means to give secretly. So that is why I don't go to occasion to go and spray money. I can't spray money, but I can put my money in the envelope and secretly pass it to you. Now that we have different way of transferring money, there's no need for that. I just transfer straight. Rather than coming to that occasion, start spraying 1,000 naira. I don't do that. So.
All right, thank you, sir. Sorry, before we move on, how about in the instance of expecting something in return, like transactional? Your giving should be free normally, but subconsciously you could start, Father Lord, I'm giving you this, and you are expecting a blessing because of that giving. So how can we balance that so that our giving is not transactional, that, Lord, I'm sowing a seed, or I'm giving you my first salary, but the motive behind that giving is expecting something in return. So how do you suggest that we can?
You are expecting something in return from who? Is it from
God?
God? From God. And that's what I said earlier. If your giving is because you want God to bless you, and He has also told us in the Bible how we should do this giving, that when our right hand is giving, our left hand should not be aware of it. So if I'm giving to God's work, or I'm giving an individual because God has moved that in my heart to do, I don't think there's need for me to let people know that I'm doing that giving. Because God has sees me in the secret, will reward me in the open. So I don't need to create any impression. I should be led in my heart. I must have that conviction that this giving is necessary for me to do. I have to do it because I'm led by God to do it. So I know that God will definitely reward me in one way or the other.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, moving on. Okay, how do I make a budget that I can actually stick to? And what are the most important categories to budget for? Should I create separate budgets for personal, business, and spiritual life? Or should I depend on being led by the Spirit? And also, how do I budget when unexpected bills keep showing up? Like, how do we budget when unexpected bills keep showing up? How do we plan financially without knowing what tomorrow will bring?
Okay, budget in a layman term is an estimated income and estimated expenditure. Is what you have estimated that you are going to realize for a period of time. That is your income. Also, what you estimate that you are going to spend within that period of time is your expenditure. Your expenditure should come from your income. That is what I said earlier. You should not spend beyond what you earn. Okay, you want to spend so much, then try and earn so much. Try and earn so much. That is my own theory. That is my theory. I want to compete with Bramoyo, who work with Unilever. When I work with government, I know our income level. It's not the same. So I can't spend the kind of money he's spending and the way he's spending. So in budgeting, you must be disciplined enough to know your expected income. At least through your past experience, you know your expected income. So you should also plan your expenditure within that your expected income.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So according to what I understand, if you want to spend more, you should earn more. Also, Mr. Clement, if I understood correctly, our giving can be transactional. Is that what I understood? But done in secret, not done for show off.
Yeah.
So the transaction should exist only between we and God. Is that what I understood? Or did I understand correctly?
Yes. Okay. Yes, because you say giving. Giving should not be pressured to give. You should not give under compulsion.
Okay.
If that giving is for the purpose of the kingdom. Okay?
For the purpose of God.
Yes, for the purpose of God. You should not give under pressure. You should not give to impress anybody.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Please put your hands together for Mr. Clements. Yes, we'll be taking questions, answers from our next panelist, Mr. Ochuko. Like I said, we have a lot of questions, so we're just going to sieve some out. Okay, question number 1. How can one be content financially while still aiming for more, but without falling into the trap of loving money? How can one be content financially while still aiming for more, yet not fall into the trap of loving money?
I will start by saying that contentment is a thing of the heart.
Okay.
So you earn minimum wage of 70,000 naira a month. You are content. You earn 500,000 naira a month. You are content. Contentment is basically a thing of the heart. So, but then there is progression. You must aspire for more, aspire to grow, aspire to develop, aspire to expand, right? So while you're aspiring to increase, to grow, to expand, to establish yourself in the business you are doing or the whatever you are doing, whatever is the present income you are able to generate, you are content with it because that's your level at the time. And as you grow, as you expand, more income will come and you're still content. You are not looking at
Is this okay?
Hello? Yeah, thank you. You're not looking at somebody else's income. You're not looking at somebody else's revenue stream. Like I always tell people, the sky is wide enough for all birds to fly. Birds of different sizes fly in the same sky. Because you're an eagle does not mean you will tell the canary not to fly. Canary flies, the eagle flies. Aspire. Desire to grow, desire to build more. But then contentment is a thing of the heart.
Thank you very much, sir. So we can be content where we are and yet still aspire for more. Also, how does one avoid associating God's favor with financial success? How does one avoid associating God's favor merely with financial success? Can one really differentiate between emotions and intellect when dealing with money? Can one differentiate an emotional call or an intellectual call when dealing with money?
Yes, so very well. When dealing with money, you can't be emotional about money. If you are doing business, you can't be emotional about money. If you are, you run into a rock. I assure you of that fact.
Okay.
When doing business, you must know the facts, know your onions, know what you are doing, set your goal, and be focused on your goal, not your emotions. For example, you see some people who, I find very interesting for people who are self-employed, who run their supposed businesses, and by it rains today, they are sleeping on their bed by 9 a.m. They're not serious. They're not serious. When I started business, I'm in my office 8 a.m. Come, rain, sun, anything. Till date. All those are now we work from home most times. I'm in my office by 8 a.m. Whether it's thunders, whether the sky is falling. So, like I said, in business, you don't mix emotions with intellectual decisions. No, you don't. Or else you will lose money. You will lose money. If you invest based on your emotions, you're likely to lose money. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine came to meet me some years ago and said he had some idea, a business idea he wanted me to help him out with investing. And I looked at him. I knew he didn't have the capacity mentally and otherwise to run that business. But he was asking, he had a family, and well, he had asked me once, twice, the third time. I said, okay, I'll help you. And I gave him money. But I knew that money was gone, as good as gone from that first day. So I told him to come to my office to get a check. Then we were still using checks before the transfer things came up. And I discussed with my partner about it. And I said, well, this guy has this idea. I think we can invest in it. But I knew it was gone. It was gone from the first day. And that day I gave him a check at about 2 o'clock. By 2:30 he had cashed the money and all that. Down the line, a month later, stories. Oh, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. That's why my money got lost. I was moved by emotions on that one. I knew it. I won't tell you, I knew it. But when I gave him the money, I knew I had lost the money from that first day. So you don't invest based on emotions. No, you don't. You must have sound intellectual judgments about the pros and the cons. What are the stakes in what you're investing in?
Thank you very much, sir. Sorry, a follow-up to that. But we can give based on emotions, can't we?
Well, you can. That's giving, not investing.
Okay, I wanted clarity on that.
No, you can give based on emotions. So somebody comes to meet you, maybe a family person, he doesn't have lunch, he doesn't have food that day. you're moved by your emotions now. You give him money to go and have for his family to eat. That's emotional. You don't know, you're not even led. It's emotional.
Okay.
Someone tells me he doesn't have food. I met someone doing last week. He told me there's no gas at home. There's no food in the house. They don't know what they will eat that day. Will I say I did not hear what he said? I'm a human being like him now. I will help.
Thank
So
you.
that's emotional, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Are high-risk investments not a form of gambling?
So there's a difference between gambling and high-risk investments. The stakes they look alike, but they are different. When you're gambling, I learned this when I was doing further maths in secondary school. And that's why I will not gamble. When you throw the die, the chances that you get two, when you throw the die, is 1/6. Am I right?
Yes.
So Baba Ijebu, you can't play Baba Ijebu, for example. The chances that you will win is 1 in 6. Baba Ijebu wins 5 in 6. Am I right? Yes. So he's always winning. He's always outsmarting you in the game of gambling. So there's no chance. Your chance to win is a game of luck. But when you're investing, it's a different ball game. I know that yam is sold at 500 naira in Agbara. That same yam, if I take it to Lekki, I will sell it for 1,200. When I add my cost, maybe 700 naira will carry the yam from Agbara to Lekki. I have a margin of 500 naira, and I'm investing in that. The mathematics is simple and clear to understand. I know, except that they say in insurance, an act of God.
Oh, yes.
Except something happens.
Yes.
I'm sure if I take my yam from Agbara, take my yam to Lekki, I will make 500 naira per tuber. And I'm good and clear. So there's a difference, a clear-cut difference between gambling and high-stakes investments. Even the oil that you see, these oil wells that they dig, it's risky. You can do all that one and you will not find oil. But at least when you find the oil, you know that you found the oil.
Oh, thank you very much for that reference, sir. So gambling is basically a game of chance. Investment is based on sound decisions, well thought out plans. Thank you. Must a Christian only invest in ethical or Christian-aligned companies? Must.
So that's
Should.
that's the thing of the heart, your convictions. What are you convinced about? I'll tell you a personal story. We have, like I said, like it was mentioned, I have an IT firm where we do some IT software development and all that. And on our platform, we had some pressure to bring in a gaming site to the platform. My partner and I discussed it severally. We discussed it. My partner is a believer too. We discussed it. Now called some of our Christian friends who are in ministry, discussed it. Should we not? The money is good, no doubt. We will make a lot of money from it. But were we convinced that we should encourage gaming, betting on our platform? That was an issue. Now, between us, our conviction was no. But because of the money, we kept on discussing it.
Yes.
I think I discussed it more than my partner herself, because there was a lot of money. Truly speaking, there's when you look at Baba Ijebu. Baba Ijebu makes over 1 billion naira. This was about 10 years ago every day. Baba Ijebu.
Wow.
He makes over 1 billion naira every day about 10 years ago. So there's a lot of money in betting, in gaming, by the operators. By the operators,
Oh, goodness.
So the man is making $1 billion, is paying out maybe 50 million naira a day. So at the end of the day, we did not do it. So it's a thing of conviction within you. Will you do this with your convictions within you? Allow it, or will you not allow it? I can't say it's a yes or it's a no. What are you convinced about?
Thank you very much, sir. So, one more question. Can having faith and financial prudence coexist in investment decisions? Can having faith and financial prudence, that is caution, exist in investment decisions?
Yes, they can coexist too. Faith sees the invisible.
Yes.
It touches
The intangible.
the intangible, right?
Yes.
Faith does not mean recklessness. Faith does not mean recklessness. So while you are moving forward and trusting God for X, Y, Z in your business, you should also be prudent, not be reckless. You will not see. I'm not saying in the scripture where God blessed people who were frugal, who were just careless. But the Bible tells us a person who is diligent is the one who is blessed and who will stand before kings and not mere men. Diligence. So faith and financial prudence work together.
Thank you very much. Put your hands together for Mr. Chukwuyerifo. Over to you, Kingsley.
Yeah, thank you. Mrs. Joan. The first question. Is it wrong to win the lottery? Is gambling a sin, or is there room for discernment?
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
I searched through the Bible and I did not see where they said gambling is a sin. However, the characteristics of gambling does not align with God's principle. It does not align with our faith. What is driving gambling is what you look at. Because if I say gambling is, so when I define it first, I like defining things. What is sin? Sin is deviation from God's law, transgression from the faith. That is sin. So what am I doing? Is it deviating from what God has said? You talked about lottery. Lottery and gambling and betting. They're all in the same family. Now, what is driving gambling? I'm in the disciplinary committee, so we hear a lot of things. It's actually greed. Gambling is driven by greed. Greed to make money. I'm also going to be saying scriptures so that we are backing it up with scriptures. Proverbs chapter 13. I'd like us to open it so we are not speaking so much. I'll be fast, but let's use scripture too. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 11 to 13. It reads, wealth from get-rich schemes quickly disappear. Wealth from hard work grows over time. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life. People who despise advice are asking for trouble, but those who respect command will succeed. Now, gambling is a get-rich scheme. And we see from the Bible that wealth that you get from it will diminish. It does not only diminish, it ruins you. I just spoke about the guy. That money that I mentioned is a small money. That is not actually the full amount. You don't want to know the amount. And he did this in 3 days. Now, gambling is an addictive product designed to trap. It gets you addicted. And when it gets you addicted, like I was telling the co-panelists, dopamine, a hormone, is released for those who are in the medical field that causes excitement. You want to do more. Now, the gambling is designed not for you to make money. He's the one making the money. So he makes you win first. When you win, the dopamine releases, causes excitement. You want to go again, so you win again. The next time you will lose. When you lose, you now want to bet again so that you can recover the money that you lost. You're already going. And so before you know it, you're addicted. And then you need money to sustain this habit. What starts to happen? You start to tell lies. You see cases where they are telling lies to colleagues that my mother is sick, my mother wants to do surgery. My father is hospitalized, please give me money. And they begin to borrow money from colleagues. They begin to collect money from customers with various kinds of lies. When it's not sustainable, they go into pilfering, suppressing customers' cash, stealing money from, doing all manner of things. And then it's not enough. They begin to do all different kinds of things just to get the money because they need to go and win or they need to recover the money they've lost. And just like he said, Baba Ijebu is getting 5, you are getting 1. So you keep going on, and before you know it is ruining you. The guy, his job was terminated. Not even terminated, dismissed. He was blacklisted. His name was sent to CBN. His BVN has been affected. So are you seeing how it's going? He can't do anything. He can't even bank with his BVN again because he's been blacklisted. His BVN has been blacklisted. He's chilling in prison. Right now, to even get who is going to come and bail him out is a problem because of the cases. So these things are, gambling is driven by greed, get rich quick, and then covetousness. You see the money they're using to pay you is somebody's loss. And the Bible says a covetous man will not inherit the kingdom of God. So when you gamble, you are being driven from the faith. He said the love of money is the root of all evil. Some, eager to make money, have swayed away from the faith. So you have left your faith. The devil is actually attacking your soul. He desires that you prosper in wealth, even as your soul prospers. His ministry is to kill, steal, and destroy. He's destroyed that guy. But there's still room for the guy to make it if he gives his life to Christ and come back afresh. Please, no matter what you do, don't take your life. A door is closed does not mean that door is locked. Even if you've made wrong decisions. Two Sundays ago, I was telling Lara, a guy of 30-something committed suicide. He has a wife and 2 children. It's not worth it. Suicide is not the last resort. It's not the escape route. Even if the plant dies at the scent of water, it will bud again and flourish. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Your answer has actually answered about 2 other questions, so I would skip that.
Sorry, this is something that is keep happening. They keep coming to disciplinary committee on the same thing, and we hear that it starts from secondary school. It starts from some of them say they got it from secondary school, they got it from university. Peer pressure, we hear peer pressure as well. The gambling, they come for people that are vulnerable. They come for people that are naive, people that are financially illiterate. And people that are greedy, because you can be financially literate, yet you are greedy and you fall into the trap.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right. Can we have a side business while working 9 to 5? And is this right?
Oh, yes. You can have a side business while working. However, your side business should not conflict with where you are working. It's called conflict of interest. And in organizations that are very structured, you will be dismissed. Now, for the bank, our job, I'll just use where I work as example. Now, we are careful not to intermediate in customers' transaction. Where the bank is supposed to be making money, you have now come in to take the the income that the bank should be generating. It's from the income you are paid your salary. That's how the bank makes money. So when you are doing business that is in conflict of interest with where you are working, that is where it is wrong. I love to sew. I used to sew before I got a job. I was sewing. But however, it became stressful. I stopped. Now I'm sewing. I'm not sewing yet for money. But the clothes I wear to office, it can now become something productive. We have people that are doing different graphics. I have colleagues that are doing graphics, doing very legitimate side hustle. Legitimate side hustle, the word is legitimate. That is not in conflict with God's law. So yes, it's okay because this is Tinubu says it's not easy. Like, I don't do the side hustle, but I go into treasury bills. I invest my money in treasury bills. I invest my money in mutual fund. That generates money for me. Daily, in my mutual fund, daily I'm generating money. We have colleagues who invest in the treasury bills. The treasury bills gives you an interest. It's called upfront. You get interest upfront. And so people use it to do different things. But their capital is still there. My mutual fund, my capital is still there. So they are also different, but legitimate. That do not conflict with your faith. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so we still have a couple of minutes. So we want to throw the floor open if there's any question from the audience right now. Before we move on. Okay, I think we have a question. We can take only one question, please. Yeah, please walk up to the mic. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I want to ask a question. You know, most times, why is it that we Christians do not understand how the world works in terms of reading books that talks about how financial literacy is all about? That is books like Christian books that talks about finances and understanding how the world works. That's my question.
Sorry, excuse me. I don't think we quite understood the question. Can you come again?
I said that why is it that Christians do not understand how the world works by reading financial books that are Christian financial books that talks about money? That's, for example, like when it comes to like the get rich quick scheme, Ponzi schemes. How do you avoid such things? Like gambling, for example. What are the things you need to avoid? You understand? Why is it that Christians do not read such books that talk about financial literacy in terms of, that's in gospel books, that talk about financial literacy when we talk about these things?
So basically, I think you're asking why Christians don't read books on financial literacy. Am I right? Did I get that right? Well, who wants to answer that?
Okay, can I start?
Hallelujah.
Amen.
So one of the things you will learn if you're trying to do business, right? You must learn and keep on learning, keep on reading, keep on interacting. Learning is not all about reading. Learning also comes about interactions and observation. I remember when I was in my final year in the university, then I think the World Bank had given our university some form of facility, and they had stocked our libraries with books. I was going to do my project in the library, and one day I was just checking through something, and I now saw one section of the library where they had serious books on business, negotiation, franchising, marketing. You won't believe. Me who was doing final year project, I would go to the library and sit down with those books and study and devour those materials. And those materials actually did help me in the long run. If you're if anything you want to do, any area you want to get involved in, you need to arm yourself with knowledge. Knowledge is very key. You cannot sit down, read your Bible alone, and pray in the Holy Ghost. They are very key, very important. I'm not in any way saying reading your Bible and praying are not important in business. In fact, They are very important in business. So this world we are in, there are many things that happen in this world that you can't understand in the course of business. But you must also keep yourself abreast of facts. Of facts. Thank you.
You did say something about Ponzi scheme. And then you did say, why don't we go and, make research? I've been a victim of Ponzi scheme. So that's why there's no way you can convince me to go into it again. Now, this Ponzi scheme, I don't know whether we've heard the person that actually, well, I was told he's not the one that actually started it, but the one that took it to the level where it got to Charles Ponzi. The guy in front of me is laughing. If we got to read about Charles Ponzi, the guy was an evil genius. I don't know, you know him. He's an evil genius. He just wanted to get rich at all means, but not through hard work. And like what when he was talking about, hard work, Bible says good planning and hard work will lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts will lead to what? Poverty. Not just poverty, destruction, because it's all encompassing. So read and go and find out what is Ponzi. I think he defined what Ponzi is. When you read about what investment is somebody doing that will now give you such high return on investment, other than the fact that the person wants to bail with your money. So it's very good, and this is a platform. This is a part of learning. You are not reading, but you are learning.
Yes.
So these are various platforms. And then the internet, you guys are in the generation where it's just at the scroll of finger, you get okay, you are bringing this. Let me investigate what I'm about to invest in. My hard-earned money I work hard for, wake up 5 o'clock and get home late. I'll now invest it in something that will crash. And then don't put your money, don't invest with the amount of money that if you lose, it will affect your financial stability. You want to sleep at night.
Yes, very true, very key. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for Mrs. Joanne. Yes, our next panelist.
Yeah, Mr. Moyo. Good morning, sir. Okay, our first question. At what point does giving financial help cross the line into enabling poor habits or irresponsibility? How do we encourage financial independence in others without appearing stingy?
Yes.
Okay, so I think Bro Chukwu had already given us a very clear separation between investing and giving. So it's all about the purpose for which you're doing it. So if I'm giving from emotion because I could see that someone really needs help and I can afford to help, then I can do. The Bible said, to everyone that asks, give. But it didn't say, to everyone that asks, give everything you have. It didn't say how much you should give. So we need to also be circumspect in deciding how to really, really be helpful and to really give to support people. In this part of the world, we all know that people try to take advantage of. There are people that, I'll give a story. When I was getting married, I was quite, most of my friends that were with me were not married. But I realized that one of us who didn't have a stable job then was the one that almost had everything. He had the best of dressing. He came with a car. He was almost like he could spend more money than all of others that even had money. So what I'm saying is, I saw that clearly, that people could live on, hey, I need this, I need that, and ask questions and all that. Oh. And that happens a lot. But it's part of your being circumspect to really be helpful when you have a call from our families, from our loved ones and all that, and do it. And also, that is not investing. You are giving, and God really would bless you for being a blessing to people, you know. So there's a space for that. But imagine you are earning an income, or you're doing a business and you are setting apart some money to grow the business. Then you put a proper plan in place, and then you are setting things apart. So if you decide to say, well, out of what I've set apart for my upkeep, someone needs, and you can afford to skip your meal or skip what you want to do personally to be a blessing to the person, how is that a problem? You can do. But one of the things I've heard today that we are talking about is the fact that it's good to budget. Companies budget. I mean, thinking about this, I have worked in 3 different multinationals, and I had the opportunity to see how those companies invest money in growing the business, in buying machineries, going into new lines. And I tell you the truth, the kind of rigor, the kind of headache that goes into getting such things done is enormous. Even when those companies have all the information around, and now you're going to see someone tell me, yeah, I can see the graph you are showing me, I can see the numbers, but please prove to me that this is going to happen. So you know that level of detail, you must be 3 times sure that you're putting the money in the right thing. And that's actually what you're trained on and taught on, how to investigate, how to look at numbers and ask for what is the seen, what is the risk, what is not seen, what can affect the outcomes of your investment. And this, if companies do this to build, grow and all that, if you're starting a business, you need to do double that. The second thing also is that, and please, like we said, we need to learn how to separate emotions from doing investments. Because really sound judgments come from the right information and the right inputs into your decision making. That's where the sound investment advice comes from. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Sorry to interject. So, from what I heard you say, it is okay for us to set conditions or boundaries. Is it okay for us to set conditions or boundaries when giving to someone in need? Can we set conditions for them? Can we set boundaries to that our giving?
So yes, we can. I don't see anything wrong in having, like I give an example, you know, I was talking about so what's the purpose of that giving? It's not an investment. You are giving because you feel led to support someone, or you have compassion for what the person is going through. So as much as you can do, as much as you have the ability to do, and don't forget we say that you can only do from what you have. You can't do from what you don't have. And don't forget you can't save the world. Jesus did already.
Yes, we can't save the world.
So that's the reality. Yeah.
Yes, let me make a reference to something. So someone comes to me and says, oh, I need money to pay my rent, to balance my rent payment. And obviously, like you said, I can make an emotional call and give the person the money. I now find out that the person didn't pay their rent, but probably went to buy a brand new car or something. Do I have a right to be upset about? Can I be upset about that?
You can be upset, but the person has not robbed you. So,
if that call not have...
If you are upset, you are upset on your own. The person has not robbed you. Huh? It's not deception.
Sorry, can you use the microphone?
So the person didn't rob you. He pitched something to you, and you got your emotions at work, and then you responded to it in a favorable way to the person. What if the person saw the money and looked at the rent need and the brand new car need and say, well, I think I can live in my car, in a brand new car.
Oh my goodness.
And that does better for me. and go ahead to do that. You didn't say if you are going to change the use of the money, come back to me.
So I brought that up because of setting boundaries. You know, when we want to give to someone in need,
Yeah.
we want to set conditions or boundaries. Say,
Yeah.
look, this money I'm giving you, this is the reason why I'm giving you this money. And you must ensure you use it for this money. And then the person now, we find out that the person didn't use it for what they said they were going to use it for. Can't that be classified as fraud?
No, so you have, what you have done is you have given the money for a purpose
Yes.
to use it for.
Yes, because the person
So if
came
he's
with
not
that
going to
person.
use it for that purpose, then he has deceived you. Because you agreed that, yes, you use the money, you are going to use the money for rent. So it's a different ballgame. But if it's, I'm giving you money, and then I'm changing why I'm giving it to you, of course, a good character of the person is to come back to you to say, I need to change the reason why I'm using it. I think I should do it. That's a good behavior from the person. But don't forget that you are giving. The person made a pitch to you. Look at it like that. Be convinced to do it because you are convinced. You are convinced. You have looked at what is presenting to you. And that's why I'm talking about you first, not the person. Because you don't have control on what the person will do with whatever help you do to the person.
Okay.
But you can control how you take your decisions. And that's one thing that we really need to do a lot more on. How do we take our decisions? What guide our decisions? That's 100% within our control. We should make more robust our decision-making mechanisms as individuals. It should be spiritual. It should be based on information. It should be based on good sound advice, knowledge. It could be, so many things guide our decisions, but please guard that because that is within your power to do.
Thank you very much. So basically, we can give, we should, and when we give, we should just let go.
Oh, yes.
Let go of whatever the person does with your giving. You have given.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. The next question, Mr. Moyo. We know you have experiences in multiple multinationals. So what are some core competencies required to manage a business?
Okay, so let me just walk from what does it take to grow a business or expand a business from, okay, why do big corporations or big companies decide and say, I want to do more in this area, I want to expand capacity and invest more in Nigeria and all that? It's basically the opportunities they see. So they've seen an opportunity that today I'm selling 10,000 tons of Milo. I can grow it to 15,000, but the capacity I have cannot do more than 10,000. So what does it cost me to produce 5,000 tons more? So they look at that cost, and then they ask what exactly will come in from that. And then they look at the inflation over the years. They look at the cost of the investment, the inflation over the years, the potential income that will come from the additional 5,000. We call it the incremental volume you are going to produce. And then you ask yourself the question, and the financial guys come in also and say, based on the rate of based on the cost of capital, this is how long it will take for this investment to pay back. And then they take a decision. The interesting thing I've seen is that for every investment that they do, across all the 3 places I've worked, every one of them want to have a payback that is less than 3 years. It's been constant. I've seen that across, even when I worked outside Nigeria, in other countries also, they don't want to invest more than 3 years. They don't want to invest in something that will not pay back in 3 years. So you build in all your costs, you build in the potential income you're going to get, and you say in 3 years you must pay back. And the reason is that the risk, you can foresee a little bit more of the risk coming in 3 years. Number two, you can, if it pays back in 3 years, you know that you can put all it takes to it, and then you break even in 3 years, and then you can move on to something else. So that's it. So that's the way they look at it. Now, if I look at the entrepreneurs that work with us, the people that provide services or whatever, the first thing is capability. Do you have capability to do the service that I want? So I want to break down a wall and patch the wall and expand this part of the factory. The first thing is, which company has that capability to do that? Can you show me what you have done before? And you know, that is, you want to, then you come in and tell me that. Then the next thing is, this is what I want to do. So we have a scope, and then you put a plan behind it. You put your cost behind it, and then we negotiate, and then you get the job. So that's what it takes to do business. You must be able to meet a need I have, and then I must be able to pay you for the service you provide. So I think that line is what I will look at.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Imorio. Please put your hands together for Mr. Imorio. Okay. We have an online question from our viewers. In a situation where there is no money to pay one's rent, no food, no prospects in view, yet calls keep coming from friends and family members to support them financially, what are the first 3 to 5 practical decisions to make to recover from such financial quagmire? Is it quagmire or quagmire? Okay, thank you. Who would like to answer this question? Let me go again. In a situation where there is no money to pay one's rent, there's no food, there's no prospect in view of financial assistance or income, and calls are still coming from friends and family members, probably under the assumption that there's money or you're comfortable, to support them financially. What are the first 3 or more than 3 practical steps or practical decisions we can make to recover from such financial quagmire? So it probably means this person was comfortable at some point for calls to be coming. It means those calls were being placed before and they were being answered, isn't it? So, oh, not necessarily. Okay, not necessarily.
I don't think that's a very difficult thing to answer. I don't have cash. Simple. I won't take my blood and go and sell to give somebody money to help the person out. I don't have cash, and I don't have cash. As simple as that. It's not rocket science. I'm not being unnecessarily hard. I learned something from somebody many years ago. He just tell you, I'm low on cash. Simple. I'm low on cash means I'm low on cash. It's not every time in a man's circle, the circle of your life, that you're always buoyant. It's not every time. Sometimes you don't have cash. Don't kill yourself because you want to help somebody. If you die, the person will continue living.
Oh, yes.
Am I not right?
Yes.
So you don't kill yourself now. It's simple. I don't have cash, and I don't have cash. Sometimes you may even have cash, but for a different purpose.
Oh, true.
I can't help you. Simple. The person may think you are wicked, all well and good, but you know your heart, you're not wicked. It's what you cannot afford to do at the point. It's simple. There's no 2, 3, 4 things you tell a person to. I don't have cash. It's simple.
There are no 3 steps.
No 3 steps.
Yes.
You don't have right now. You don't have.
Let's stop feeling under.
You don't put yourself under any form of pressure.
No.
I have somebody that comes to my office. He's my friend's younger brother. He has 2 wives.
Oh.
2 wives. He didn't go to much school, so he had a low-paying job. Then he now left that job. Then he would come to my office. I would sit down with him, I would talk, and he would go away. Obviously, I know he's hungry, but I won't give him anything. He has made a wrong decision in his life. I will not put myself under undue pressure for somebody's foolishness or somebody's laziness. If once in a while I feel like giving, okay, let's go and have lunch, or you go and have lunch, fine. But don't put yourself under any form of pressure to help anybody. You are not under obligation. They should, if they have anything, they should go and ask God to help them. And God will find who will help them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I just want to chip in something. It's also, I see that as one perspective. Another one could live in a fake lifestyle. What are you showing people? You are showing that, there's something they say, small get big God. You understand? You are trying to, you are showing like you have, but you don't have. So when you are putting, what are you putting up on your status? You are going to go and post beside somebody's car when it's not your car. You are borrowing things to wear. So when it's perception. You have put something out there, false lifestyle, that you are not. True. So you are living in illusion. And they too, they are now saying, okay, this guy has now, let us come and ask from the person. So it's very important that we don't put false, you are not out there to impress nobody. And when they see, after a while, they move from you and go to another person. So that's it. So don't try to live above your means. We've seen what living above means does for, even in the corporate world. You don't have to live above your means. You see them now, borrowing money from credit cards. You can't pay the credit. Don't live above your means. And don't put out a false perception about who you are not. Which is good, but it's also good to contend for growth. But live within your means. And be thankful of the resources that you have. And watch God grow it.
Thank you very much, Ma. So we're running short on time. On to our final panelist, Dr. Dauda. Question. How does one... Okay, it sounds like this question has been answered, but let's just see. How does one budget on an irregular income, that is freelance or commission? So you don't have a specific income. Usually there's an income before we create a fixed income. Someone is aware of a fixed income before creating a budget. Now, you work freelance or on commissions. Your income is irregular. You do not know. How does one budget?
Okay, so you thank God you accept the fact that, yes, you are working as a freelance and the incomes is not always regular. So what you should do is to ensure that, yes, you cut your budget based on what you are earning. In the world of financial literacy, you don't cut your coat according to your size. You cut your coat smaller than your size. So you are a freelance and you are thinking of, okay, how can you budget it based on what you are earning. What do you use for your personal consumption? What do you use for your savings? So you cut your coat smaller than your size. Not that, okay, you are a freelance and you want to live like somebody that lives a regular job. So you must cut your coat smaller than your size in the world of financial literacy.
Okay, so I'll take it that we should just budget based on what we have at hand.
Exactly.
We shouldn't budget based on prospects or hopes since we work freelance.
You can't budget on uncertainty.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next question. Is there an app that can help us with budgeting?
Is there an app that can help you with budgeting? Okay, let me use a example. Personally, as an individual, you should be able to know what you are earning and how to use it. Personally, I have 3 accounts. I have one account, I call it a transactionary account. The second one is precautionary account, and the third one is speculative account. So the first one, which is transactionary account, that is what is used for my basic consumption, for any other thing that I need to buy to use. And then there's a concept called the black tax. The black tax is something that, okay, the financial obligation that you need to render to your family members. So it should be in your transactionary account. The speculative account is the account that you need to channel money into in case of sickness.
Emergencies.
Nobody is praying for sickness, but you have to prepare for emergency and sickness. That's precautionary account. You must put money in that account in case something happens. while your speculative account, which take the huge amounts of your money, is for your investment purpose. You have to channel a certain amount into that amount, regardless of how situation might be. You don't look into that account. So what I do personally is that my speculative account, I have an investment account with ARM. So immediately I have a standing order with bank that, okay, this percentage of my money goes to my investment. And then once the remaining one comes in, I remove my tithe, I remove my transactionary purpose, and then I channel my speculative purpose. So any other person that comes in, there is no money.
Oh, thank you very much. We can see where the PhD comes in. Thank you very much. Yes, next question. Is forex trading or crypto trading, as we know, just a sophisticated form of gambling?
Okay, so...
Sorry, probably we should start from here. What are crypto assets? As in, what is forex?
Okay, crypto assets, they are digital asset, they are digital currency. But one thing about crypto is that it doesn't have a legislative backup or a regulatory body to mitigate the risk involved in it. So anybody that wants to go into cryptocurrency, yes, it's a digital currency, and I think crypto came up in 2008, 2009 by a polytechnic student, Satoshi. He's actually wanted to practicalize something which come up with the idea of cryptocurrency. But the question that you should ask yourself, if I want to invest in cryptocurrency, does it have a regulatory backup? Does it have a legislative backup that when this money goes down, I can able to retrieve it? That is it. Crypto in its own, if you have the ability to mitigate your risks, fine. Now, we have two categories of people. We have the risk lovers and the risk averse. If you are a risk lover, you can invest it. But I can tell you that you can invest like 100,000, but when the market is crashing, is going down, there is no any regulatory body to stop it. That is for those who are risk lovers. But for risk averse, you know your level of risk. Don't go into it. Because if that thing goes down, you might not be able to absorb the shock.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have a question from our online viewers. How can we navigate the responsibilities of black tax, which you just mentioned?
Okay.
So our online viewers are paying attention.
Okay.
Well, hold on, I'm not done. How can we navigate the responsibilities of black tax in a way that honors our parents without compromising our financial stability or hindering our journey towards financial independence?
Okay, so as I mentioned, yes, as a matter of fact, it is good to take responsibility. But when you are taking responsibility, you need to apply wisdom. The concept of black tax is something that has been in place. If you want to take that responsibility and weigh down yourself and you die today, somebody else will take that responsibility. So when it comes to the concept of the black tax, you have to assign a certain amount that you think that, okay, this amount of money will not affect my budget, will not affect my speculative and transactionary. So you have to look at, okay, your parent first, attend to them, and any other family members. You budgeted 30,000 naira for your black tax. You give your parent 15,000, for example, and your siblings come up and you give them 10,000 naira. And then another person come up, 5,000 naira. What you have budgeted for your black tax have exhausted. Anybody that comes in, there is no money. So you cannot say that, okay, because you have a family responsibility and you need to help people, you should go to the extent of frustrating yourself financially. You know why? Because if you have taken that responsibility that much, you are weighing down, you are destroying your plans. tomorrow in a family situation that, yes, you cannot be able to hear, they will still be the first person to call you a useless person. Because you have not budgeted yourself, you have failed to understand that there is a thin line between the black tax and then financial prudence. So, giving should be done with wisdom. The fact that, yes, you need to take a financial obligation for a family, that does not mean that you should distort your budget and go outside what you have already assigned for your black tax. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dauda. So, we have a question from the house. Who wants to ask a question?
Hello, Lara. I don't think some people here know what is black tax.
Oh, yes, sorry. I was
Okay.
actually going to ask, what is black
Okay, so
tax?
let me define. Black tax is a financial obligation that you render to your family members. Like, okay, I have these family members. This is just a form of, this is how I want to help them. I have this money, okay, this is what I will help them if they call. I will give them this money if they call. But you have to put a tag on that, okay, for this black tax, it should not exceed more than 5% of my income. So
Per
this
month.
is it. Once that thing is exhausted, anybody that calls, well, there is nothing, wait for next month.
So all this, my cousin is marrying, this is that.
It should be in your transactionary. If you know that, yes, at the end of the day, your black tax have been exhausted and you can tip it from your transactionary, you do it, but you can't go outside that. Marriage or no marriage, you just focus on your budget.
Thank you very much. Is there a reason why it's called black tax?
It is a concept that, okay,
Why
just...
black?
Eh?
Why black?
Why
I'm
black?
just curious.
Why is a concept in economics that, okay, this is what I did not plan for. It is not part of my core responsibility, but I just have to render it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I was checking the dictionary. I was checking the internet, sorry. The black, maybe it's because it's called black workers. They said black tax is a term that originated in South Africa and refers to money that black workers, especially professionals and other higher income earners, give to their parents, siblings, or other family members, often out of obligation or a deeply ingrained sense of family responsibility.
Thank you very
So
much.
we've learned something today.
So I would say that black tax is more common with us. I do not believe that other races live the way we do.
It's
The
mostly the black.
obligation to family, yes, and those kind of responsibilities. I don't think. Do you want to say something?
Yes, so I looked at it also just like Sister Joan did, and
Okay.
it's, it came from the South African, and it's interesting to understand the South African economy, society. The black people feel that they have some obligations to their parents and to their families, and then they take that money out and do. I won't be surprised if that is probably recognized tax exemption or whatever. It's possible, but it's interesting that that is there. But I would advise, since we have younger people here, that I think it's important we consider the fact that if God blesses you as you are earning income, we have a responsibility to our parents. We have a responsibility to our families. We can't say this is not there. It is there. It is scriptural. It is right for us to know that we have a family to support, no matter what they can afford or what they have. It's important to say that. The second thing I want to say is that it's within the span of financial discipline and budgeting and all that, that can be properly done without that ruining your financial plans or financial, whatever you have set up for yourself to do. That's what I believe and that's what I practice.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I want to take a question from the house. A question from the house because of time. Yes. So can you use either one of the mics, the standing mics? Please tell us your name before you take your question.
Yeah, good morning. Okay. is Belema. I wanted to ask an ethics question. I think. Hello? Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to ask an ethics question. I think when we were talking earlier, we spoke about ethics. So there are certain professions like healthcare, law, that have, I think they take oaths to be able to attend to anybody, right? To respond to anybody that has any issues. So we're talking about ethics. I think you mentioned, Ms. Joanne, you mentioned something about conflict of interest and the likes, and whether it is in line with our faith. So there are some businesses or companies that our faith may not necessarily be in line with. For example, tobacco companies or alcohol companies. Now, as a healthcare professional or as a lawyer, does the ethics affect, and your faith affect working with these sorts of companies? I don't know if my question makes sense.
Okay, did we get the question? Or should he come again?
If I understood what you said.
Yeah.
For example, now, is it okay that a Christian works in a tobacco firm?
Yes, or okay, so for example now.
Or do business with a tobacco firm?
Yes.
Okay, now when you invest in a business, you are bringing about the growth of that business. And when the business, for example, okay, I have shares in some organization. Am I together so that I'm not straying over your question? Okay, so if I'm investing in your organization, I'm bringing growth to your organization. And if I'm bringing growth to a tobacco firm, if I'm bringing growth to a tobacco industry, that means the tobacco industry will be producing more tobacco. So
as a healthcare person now, for example, because I've actually had this problem, right? As a healthcare person now, to work with a tobacco company, you are under an oath to attend to anybody.
Patricia.
So if the staff of a tobacco company are having challenges, health-wise.
yes, now you are working. That's different. Because if I'm working in a, no, I will even see it as
deal with them.
yes, I'm treating you. I'm treating you. For me, that's not. I'm treating you. Yes, I'm giving you value in terms of treating you. I'm treating you, so that's okay. That's not conflict of interest. That does not conflict with your faith as well.
You're treating the human being, not the business.
Yeah, but so for example, if you're a lawyer, for example, and they have. Okay. No, I was just saying that because there are certain professions that they are under oath to attend to anybody, no matter who.
But a lawyer, for example, you did mention a lawyer. For example, lawyer, if I know somebody committed that crime, and I'm defending the person, and I'm standing as a lawyer, and I have to say the person did not commit that crime. That is not okay. Now that is different because that is against my faith. Because no, the oath now, in the case of lawyer, I don't have to take that case. I don't have to take that case. So I think that's in the context of, you have to look at the context now. We have to consider the context, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Another question from the house. Tell us your name and ask.
Hello? Yeah, okay. My name is Daniel Ofoku, right? This is not my question, but on that case, he said something about, first of all, the first thing he said is, if you're investing in a company, you're contributing to the growth of the company. But he also said, I think Mr. Moyo said it, he said, for the doctor, you are treating the person and not the company. But, right, if I treat the person becomes better and goes back to contribute to the growth of the company, Is that not technically a conflict of interest? No? Okay.
So conflict of interest in organizations is completely. So there can be conflict of interest in organizations, but what you are probably even talking about is something conflicting with your faith. So it's different.
Okay.
So in organizations, just for us to know, it's basically, are you doing something that can stand against your making the right judgment in your work, in the organization? So for instance, let me give a very good one. I'm responsible for signing a contract out to you to provide a service for me, for the organization. So it's very possible that since I have a good relationship with you, you are my family member, you are my younger brother, it's possible that if you don't render that service properly, I may not be able to sanction you. So that's conflicting with the interests of the organization I work with. So I can decide to say, you know what, you are qualified to work with this organization, but I will not be the one to take the decision on whether you do the job well or not. So I step aside, I declare that, this person that works for you, I know the person. And you are only allowed to declare and say, I know this person. I have an interest with this person. So that the company can look at it and say, this might conflict with your decision-making, pattern for that transaction. Another thing could be, in some organizations, two people can work there and they get married. So imagine someone works in quality control, the wife works in quality control, and the husband works in production. So you know that's already conflicting.
True.
Yes.
So the production man wants to produce and release everything to go. The quality person has to look at it and say, is this conforming to our quality standards? So that's conflicting. So that's just to explain conflict of interest, and it's quite a huge, array of possibilities there. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So for the purpose of time, oh wow, we have a lot of
I've
questions.
not asked my question.
You what?
I've not asked my question.
Oh,
I said it before I spoke.
sorry, let's take a comment first. Yes, Pastor.
Praise God. All right. When Brother Bilema was speaking earlier on, he spoke about certain professions that are under oath to take certain actions, certain measures in the course of rendering service or carrying out their responsibilities. He mentioned lawyers when he was asking his question and all that. So for lawyers, a lawyer is expected to be a minister in the temple of justice. So what you are expected to do is to ensure that you assist the courts and to come to a just and fair and equitable consideration of whatever is before the courts or whatever is happening. You're not expected to go ahead to say or do something that is clearly wrong. This is not the right thing. In defending your clients, you are expected to always seek for justice to be done. So the law presumes everyone innocent until proven guilty. So if your client tells you that, yes, this thing that happened, I did it, you are not expected to say that he did not do it. You are expected to assist the court. And assisting the court means that you have to help the court to ensure that he is shown to have done it. So the responsibility is on the state to prove that he did that thing. And then it's when that is done that the law will take its course. You won't go and say he did not do it, but you will say prove that he did it. That's where you're supposed to stand. And if they are unable to prove that he did it, then the man goes scot-free. So that's how it operates. I thought I should bring in that clarity. Yeah, it's not your duty to say that this particular thing, he did it. No. It's the duty of the other side, the state, to show that he did it. Your duty is to be there to ensure that the man's guilt is properly established. If they are unable to establish it, then you have to insist that they've not established it, they should allow the man to go. Because many times we say that it's better to allow 100 people to go scot-free than to go ahead and then get one person that is innocent to be incarcerated. So that's why they allow that process to run. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the clarity.
Can I ask my question now?
Okay, if it's brief.
Okay. Let's start again. My name is Daniel Ofoko. Good morning. Yes, it's the morning. Good morning. I'm a 400 level student. I'm on my IT now. And the question is that I'll be done with school, or some people will be done with school probably next year. And there's this pressure for me to go and get my 9 to 5 and just follow everybody's strengths and pattern and take my CV and enter the whole new chase of job pool where you're overworked and underpaid because I'm on my IT.
Oh, wow.
And I've seen it. I've been on my IT for 1 month and I've seen it that majority of everybody is terribly overworked and underpaid. And I don't want that for myself. But everybody else apparently wants it for me. Currently. And and the thing is, when they say something about getting a side hustle or getting a side gig, you said something about that too, that you could do it as long as it's not crashing with. But for you to have an efficient side gig, something has to suffer. Is either my sleep or my body or my job. Okay, not my body, but exactly. But something has to suffer. Let me give you a more relating to me. Recently, with the help of my friends, we started something we call Food Lab, right? This is where there's an app where you can order food from the comfort of your home, like Chowdeck or Glovo, for you heard about. And recently, during this, my IT, I started working on a proper expansion because we're working thoroughly, comfortably in Ekpe, expansion to Ojo. And because I'm grateful for everybody that was responsible for me getting my position, but because I was literally forced to get the IT position, I've not been involved in making critical decisions that affect this current company and the current expansion that is going on. So meaning that whatever my side hustle has been suffering. And now I'm seeing that if what plans I have to move on after school does not actually coincide with the typical 9 to 5 being overworked and underpaid because my plan is the vision I have is not to be a job seeker but a job creator, right? But there's no way I can create a job if I'm working 9 to 5, being overworked
and underpaid. Thank you very much.
So what is your advice for me that is leaving school? And what do I tell my mother to please, I beg? Calm down. Let me breathe small. Because
okay. Thank you very much, Daniel. Okay. We understand you. Can one person answer this question?
So, Daniel, we can talk later, but let me say this also. Underwork, overpaid, overwork, underpaid, I don't know. But the point I want to make to you is this. And then I will quickly just touch around the the points you raised. So, it is important to follow your passion. But be responsible to be ready to stand with your full chest to follow that passion, because whether it is underwork to overpay, like you said, in 9 to 5, or it is go out there to go and create a business, you need to talk to people that are doing it. Both of them have some good dose of work to be done. Hard work is in everything. And the pay is only commensurate with the value you provide, whether it is to business or to... And I would say this, I have a friend, very good friend of mine, who some people here know already. We finished together in the same university, but from day one, he said he cannot work for anyone. He already had, the only work he did was NYC year. That was when he earned salary. After that, he went into creating businesses, creating things and all that. Now he lives now in the US, and his business is in Nigeria, running very well. I know that his dad took his CV to go and put in Mobile, to write tests, to work in Mobile at the time. He wrote the test, he could get the job, he passed the test, but he pulled out and he said, I'm going to just frustrate somebody there. He can't do it. And then I know people also that said, we have to go outside and go and get business and all that. And they're still struggling with it. So you need to be sure what direction you want to go and follow it with your full passion. But I can tell you, there are good value that you can create wherever and be well paid for it. Whether it is now underpaid or overpaid, you have to decide yourself. Okay? Yeah, that's
Thank you very, very much. So we'll take, okay.
Hello, can I say something, please? Can I say something, please?
Okay.
So I've been in your shoes. So when I was in school, I was doing business as a student. For my very first year in university, I was selling things. I was selling clothes. I was selling shoes. I was selling kerosene, diesel, fuel. My 5 years in university was all through I was selling. Right? I didn't need to sell because I was giving stipend from home, but I had a passion to sell. Right? So I kept on selling, and basically all the money I was making was for charity. I didn't think of investing money in anything. It was basically charity. Then I did my internship. Mine was about nine months, because I think that period school was closed for a while, so I stayed for 9 months. And at that point, having sold so many things before then, I now thought, okay, my internship was in my line of profession. I seem to have liked the job, and I said I was going to stay with it. Now, going to my service here, I had an offer at UBA, which is a 9 to 5 job. I had an offer at UBA. But I was not posted to Lagos. I was sent out of Lagos. For reasons, I think it was God that said I should go out of Lagos, because I would have been in that 9 to 5 job kind of arrangement. Because if I was worked in UBA, most likely I would have been retained. But I was not cut out for that. I tried to redeploy to Lagos even up to my 10th month of youth service, and it did not work. At the time, I told God, if this my posting to this place is your will, frustrate my effort, but I will work to deploy to Lagos. But it didn't work. When I left school, I came back to Lagos. When I left in service, I came back to Lagos. And I had two options. A job offer at Citibank. The second option was to relocate, go out of the country. The third option was to follow my passion, which was the business I was trying to do, right? And as God will have it, between my leaving school and youth service, some friends and I had gotten together and set up a small company. In that small 2 months or 3 months, I'd seen the prospect, I'd seen how much we had made and the prospect, so I knew there's a future in this thing. So when I had after leaving during my youth service, I had the option of Citibank job. I had the offer of relocating, and following was my passion. The passion. I followed the passion. Now, how do I start off on this passion? I only had 10,000 naira at the time. 10,000 naira. I didn't have an office space. I didn't have a phone line. I didn't have a car. So those obstacles were already in my face. How do I move from my 10,000 naira and move the business? That's another story for another day. But somehow, I stayed with my passion, stayed with my focus. One thing God gave me from beginning is focus. When I got born again, focus came to my life. Focus. I was focused on what I was doing. I cut off people that were not relevant to where I was going. I cut them off. No matter how friendly we were before, people were not relevant to what I was doing, were cut off. Pleasures were cut off. Sleep was reduced. Sometimes we are out 10 p.m. trying to close a transaction. I will not do 9 to 5. So the thought that at initial times, the incomes were not great, but we're making income. Once income comes, you know how to, like the doctor said, you know how to budget. You don't, because you have gotten 50,000 naira now, you go and buy 25,000 naira shoe. In fact, a nephew of mine one time called me and said he needed money to buy shoe. And how much? He said he needed money for school. And I said, okay, what don't you need money for? He said he wants to buy a shoe. I thought he meant books. He said, no, shoe. How much was the shoe? I want to buy 25,000 naira. I said, look, my friend, go and look for work. At that time, I was not using 25,000 naira shoe. I was any more than 25,000, but I was not using 25,000 naira shoe. So, you must, like Brother Will said, when you take your decision, hold it to your full chest, too, because in the real life, in the real world, right, there are many challenges in business. Many. Government policy change can ruin your business. Many things. Government changes can ruin your business. There are many things. Environmental, many things that can ruin businesses. As businesses are rising in Nigeria, many are also dying. So you have to know what you're doing and be focused.
Thank you very, very much. Are we still alive? Thank you.
Hello. Okay, my husband has always also wanted to go into business. But however, he started working in an organization. And he intentionally did so because he wanted to learn skills that he requires to run his own business when he now goes into his own business. Right now, he's a businessman, and he will always say that which he learned from the 9 to 5, more work and less salary, because the salary was really less, is helping him where he is right now. I also have a colleague who is running, he took over his father's business. The business is worth billions. He came and worked in 9 to 5 that was not paying much, but in fact, he did it against his father's will. He wanted to learn the skills that require him to run that business, and he's running it very well. So if you are passionate and you feel God is saying, okay, you go straight into it, you must hear him. What is he saying? Spirit of discernment, are you going straight, or he will require you go into this 9 to 5, that the money is not much, and learn that which you need to learn to help you. So that's it.
Thank you very much for that answer. So a 9 to 5 can help us to acquire the discipline, which will help us in turn to run our own businesses. Also, when you make that decision, make sure you carry your cross when you choose it. Thank you very much. We're just going to take one last question. I know we have tons of questions. We saw them coming in. We were prepared. Like I said, we had over 200 questions. And some of these questions might not be answered here and today. In fact, one of the reasons why we have our panelists up here is that anywhere we run into any one of them, and these questions pop up, we have now been given the legal rights, I believe, to accost them and ask them these questions. Yes, and there are people that are right here in the house with us. We didn't outsource people that we can't reach or we can't communicate with. So, please, in your spare time, whenever you come across any one of them, if you have questions burning in your hearts or you have questions that haven't been answered today, just reach out to any one of them. Or even on our platforms, you can throw those questions and we'll help you get across to them. Thank you very much. So last question for today, because we're seriously running behind schedule. Let's not forget that most of us also have other things to do. Even our panelists have appointments. So thank you very much. Your name and your question.
Good morning. My name is Mariam. So my question is also related to part of what Daniel said. So as a young person, he's in his final year, he's finishing school, he's doing his IT. Then he's done and he maybe decides to do the 5 to 9. Now he's going through vacancies. He's applying and he gets to the interview and they're like, they want somebody that has 4 or 5 years job experience. So how is Daniel, as a young person, already discouraged, feeling like life has given him one hope? How is he going to combat that? I don't have 5 years experience, but I know I can do this, I'm up to the task. How is he going to combat that?
So, let me just go. Okay, so it's true that there are some job opportunities that need experience, but it's not every job opportunity. There are always entry-level opportunities. And every organization everyone starts from the entry level. I mean, the first job I did also, nobody asked me for 5 years experience. So please, there are some positions today that they don't need experience at all. I can tell you right now, Flour Mills is looking for engineers. They just said, engineers, come around, we have a good program for them. And they don't need 0 to 2 years experience is what they put there. So meaning they are looking for people that have even probably started working somewhere and they are not happy, or they want something better, come and join us, and that's entry level. So every organization starts with entry level. And then from there you start growing. And by the way, there are a lot of experiences that you can build in before you even finish school. He's already making apps. He's already able to understand what needs are, create a solution for those needs, and sell it. 3 industries can be created from that easily with experience. So experience is not a barrier at all. There's a starting point. But if you want to start from the MD, then you would show 20 years experience.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, sorry.
Let me say something. Okay, so in addition to what Uncle Moyo said, sometime when you are coming out of school, you need to create value for yourself. So, typical example, when I finished my PhD, I was asked to go into to lecture, but that's not my passion. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into research proper. The first thing I did was to register for a consultancy firm. I started doing my consultancy small. Few months into that, I added it in my CV that, okay, I'm into consulting. I added that, and that was when I got my job. I am doing my consulting, and I'm working. I know it is taxing. It requires a lot of time, sharing my time to do consulting, do my work, and also attend to my farm. So it is not an easy thing, but it's something that you need to take a decisive decision that, okay, once you come out, when you don't find anything to create a value for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please let's jam our hands together for each and every one of our panelists who have taken time out to be here, to participate, to support us, and to share their wealth of experience and knowledge. Thank you very, 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 very much. So, like I said, our panelists actually told us when we were preparing for this meeting that from the questions, they are very sure that there's likely to be Faith and Finance 2. Am I right? Part 2. So, no dates, no time, but let's just keep hoping and praying. Thank you very much. Put your hands together. Honestly, you've been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful audience. We were meant to have a break. We are currently 45 minutes behind schedule. 45 minutes. So we will not be taking a break. Sorry? We will not be taking a break so that we can cover up time. If you want to use the restroom or do anything, you can just take a minute or two to go there right now. In the meantime, we have an icebreaker. Our panelists, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your wealth of experience, the knowledge you shared. God bless you. I think we can go back to our seats. Let's put our hands together for them. Yes, we have an icebreaker. We want to hold a quiz. A quiz. I know we don't like, well, I don't know. Let's see. This quiz is primarily we would like to appreciate your engagement today. That is you taking time out to engage with us. So we're going to ask questions. If you have the answer, the full coincides answer, not guesswork, so that we don't waste time. Be sure you know the answer, please. If you have the answer, just raise your hand. I'm going to ask 2 questions, and that's it. Question number 1. In the course of our introducing our panelists and discussions, some of us told them about their qualifications. Some of them told us about their qualifications and achievements. So I'm going to go through this. NCE, MSc, NCE, BSc, MSc, MBA, and PhD. Did we get that? Should I come again? Okay. NCE, BSc, MSc, MBA, and PhD. What are the full meanings of each of these academical qualifications, and in what order are they achieved? Is that difficult? I doubt. What are the full meanings of each? Some of us are opting. I hope we're not asking Google Assistant. What are the full meanings of each and every one of these qualifications? Anyone can answer. Just raise your hand. And in what order are they achieved? There are 5 of them. Yes. Please come out.
They go in this order. My name is Chinedum Chikelizi. NCE comes first. Then you have BSc, MSc, MBA, and you have PhD. Okay, PhD. Let me start from. Okay, NCE is. I think this is okay. National Certification in Education. Then you have BSc, that's Bachelor in Science, and you have MSc, Masters in Science, and you have MBA, Masters in Business Administration, and then you have PhD, Doctor of Philosophy.
Thank you very, very much. I'm surprised. I thought that would have been an easy question for us. Seriously, many of us here have some of these qualifications, or don't we? or we have it in view. Either we have it or we have it in view. So, just like someone asked, why don't we educate ourselves? Why don't we become more knowledgeable about certain things? It would surprise me that someone is aspiring to have a BSc and doesn't even know what the meaning of a BSc is, or what it stands for, or what opportunities are available for someone who has a BSc. So thank you very much for that. And we have a prize for you. Yes, please come up. Yes, we have something. Oh, I didn't mention we're giving away things. Maybe that's why we didn't have people raise up their hands. Yes, we're giving away things. While he's waiting, second question and last question. Today's program, titled 1. What is... So, it will be... okay. What is today's program title? 2. We had various... please don't open your phones. We had various categories we wanted to discuss in regards to finance, which we put up on the flyer. What are those categories? There were about 8 of them. The exact 8 categories that were in that flyer. Also, at any point in time, did you get to share that flyer or invite someone to the program today? So there might be no right or wrong answer, but there are answers. Does anyone want to answer? Yes. No one wants to answer? Yes, all 3 questions. Yes. Thank you very much. So today's program title, we're here today. We're here live. We've been preparing for this program for how long? What is our program titled as? We've mentioned that title over and over. Oh, we know that one. Okay. What are the categories we wanted to discuss, which we put up on our flyer? Yes, we have someone who wants to answer. Please come. Thank you. The categories we put up on our flyer. It's basically, just like I said, we want to reward your engagement, your participation. We want to know if you're here. If you're actually, truly here with us. So what are the categories? And at any point in time, did you invite someone? Did you post our flyer? Did you share it?
Okay. Good morning, house. I will attempt to answer the question. My name is Vivian Ario. The question.
Program title?
Yeah, the program title is Faith and Finance.
No.
Finance and faith. Okay. Then the topics. I'll start from the list. I saw cryptocurrency. I saw forex. I saw gambling, investing, saving, and budgeting. I mentioned 8. Should I go over it again?
Yes, please.
Okay, I saw cryptocurrency, forex, savings, investment, budgeting.
Do we have it?
Gambling. Okay, I've mentioned 6, right? How many did you ask me?
8.
8.
Okay, start again.
Okay, cryptocurrency, forex, shares.
Shares?
Is it shares now or investment? Budgeting, gambling, savings. I think that's what I can remember at the moment. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Last question.
Okay, what's the last question?
Did you invite anyone? Did
Yes,
you
I
share?
did. I didn't share on my status, but yes, I did. And no, they did not come.
Oh, no, they did not come. Thank you very much. Please, like I said, there are no right or wrong answers to some of these questions. We just wanted to reward your participation and engagement. Sorry, please come and take your gifts. So we should have tried. We should have tried. Okay, you want to answer? Sorry? Oh, okay. So it's up there on the screen. Thank you. So, I mean, we've been posting this flyer over and over. So some of us probably took time to look at it. Some of us didn't, but we took time to design it. So we were hoping that we paid some level of attention. Thank you very much. Like I said, okay, yes. So we have savings, investment. Oh, okay. No, hold on.
Praise the Lord. We know there are some people that will not mind the 9 to 5. So I would just like to advise for those that are going into NYC, if you are in maybe finance-related courses, you can get chartered, your ACA, your ACCA. You stand a better chance when you are done with your NYC in getting a job, rather than when somebody with the BSc accounting goes to get a job, the person just gets the entry level. But for you with a chartered advantage, it's another advantage, so you get a level higher. So you consider that when you get to NYC, get engaged. Don't just, just go through NYC. Do so much things to also develop yourself. We have the IT, various things, Power BI, the AI. Get certified. You do not know when that skill will be needed. We talked about value creation and value adding. If you bring that, you don't have to do all of this gateway school. They will look for you. God will cause creation to work in your favor. So I just like to say that for those who are going into school. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Let's see this quick video that I'll put on our screen now.
Credibility is things you do on a constant basis over a period of time that is recorded that people can trace and the people can say this is who this person is. Credibility is the first level. The second level of money is what we call credible relationship. Credible relationship, you don't have cash but you have me and I can avail my credibility to you. If you go to Australis today, the cheapest car we sell is Chinese car, which is 32 million. If you ask us to give it to you and in 2 weeks you will pay, you know we will not give it to you because we don't have the record of your credibility. But if that would call us and say you are in our place and we should let you go with Range Rover, which is 450 million, or Rolls Royce, which is 1.4 billion, that you will pay in 2 weeks, and he knows if you didn't pay, he will pay. Do you think we'll let you go with the car? We will. Why? Because Dangote gave his word. He availed his credibility to you. You don't have it, but somebody availed it to you. You don't have cash, but you have somebody who can give you his credibility. That's another level of money. And that's why I tell young people, if a rich man gives you cash, he has cheated you. What you need is access. Let him keep his door open for you, that you can call him and he pick your call. Because that can put billions in your account, not 50,000 or 100,000 or 1 million naira. What you need from a wealthy man is access. So the first level of money is credibility. Second level of money is credible relationship. The third level of money is one of the most scarce commodity in Nigeria, and you can only make profit in a product that is not available, and that is called integrity. It's not in plenty supply. Not many places you can see it. So what is integrity? Integrity is not what you will do when people know. Integrity is what you will do if you know there's no way it can ever be discovered Nobody can find out what you did and you still choose to do the right thing. That's my definition of integrity. The fourth level of money is what we call character.
Is character and integrity different?
They're different. Character is the foundation of any man's life, any woman's life. This building wall crack, the material person will say, repair it. But if foundation has problem, they will say, bring this building down. Character is a foundation of leadership. Character is not what many people understand it to be. That's why God is character. Why is God character? Because he's holy. The word holy refers to God. Character is like alphabet. 2 is 2 in Japan, in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, in China. It doesn't become 3 in China. By 2 a.m., character is a statue like Victoria. It does not say, oh, this sun is too hot. Let me go in the shade. It doesn't say, oh, the rain is coming, typhoon is coming. Let me run under the table. You come there by 2 a.m. standing there. Any man or a woman that have a character will be successful and will make wealthy. But it doesn't come easy. Character is also very scarce. The 5th level of money is what we call competence. You got to know what you are doing. It's not just enough to speak in tongue. It's not just enough to pray, because some prayers we are making is useless. You pray in a miss when you are not doing the correct thing. You need to be competent. You need to be properly schooled. That's why people need to give themselves mentor. The last and the least level of money, everybody understands what money is cash. Anybody who you see that have money and they doesn't have these 5 things is a thief. He stole the money.
Try. Tim. Are you serious?
Because money is an exchange for a value. So if you have it and there's no value you delivered to get it, you stole it. That's why I don't respect many people. No matter how much money they have, I don't envy them. I don't feel excited about them. I don't feel terrific because they cannot show the means with question. That's why I don't respect a lot of people with all depth of sincerity.
I love the character part and the integrity you talked about. Now, for you, since you started your business to becoming this work that you are, is there been any unethical deal that was offered to you?
That was powerful. Was it not powerful? All right, without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker. You know, when I saw the flyer, I was actually excited, like, wow, speaking. Because we all know that, Pastor, the level of his leadership encapsulates the scripture, Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and every other thing will be added to you. To the extent that he readily delegates other parts of the church, things like finance, that he doesn't want to be bothered. It's all about follow me while I follow the Lord. And yet he has written books which still covers portions of this topic. God or Money, Whom Will You Serve? I don't know if you've read that book. Yeah, Uncle Aki was our model on the book when I saw it. And also Giving, A Lifestyle of True Worship. He has written such powerful books that also share the light of the spiritual aspects of that Matthew 6:33. So without saying too much, I'd like to call up our